Welcome. This is the Public Safety meeting, Standing Committee meeting, and we're going to get started. Can we do a roll call, please?
House. Kirk.
Dave, we see you on there, but we can't hear you.
Yes, I'm here.
Cosgrove. Frank.
Yes.
Peterson. Fleming.
Excellent. Thank you. Item number 3, verification of the open meetings law compliance. We're all good?
Correct.
Thank you very much. We have an agenda, looks like a 12-point agenda. Looking for motion to approve the agenda. Cosgrove approves, looking for a second. Second. Woodhouse is a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Right, hearing none. It's passed. Moving on. Good to see you. Item number 6, then, public comment. Any public comment?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
did you, I'm sorry, did you approve the minutes from the last meeting?
Oh, thank you very much. I did not. I was on line off. Thank you. Item number 5, approval of minutes of the February 7th, 2025 meeting. Looking for a motion to approve those such minutes. Woodhouse and Cosgrove second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Are approved. Now, item number 6, public comment. In public, online or in the room? Hearing none, moving on to item number 7, reports. Let's start out with the sheriff department activities.
So for February, we had 71,603.82 cents for monthly vouchers. 44 for jail bookings. Average number of inmates housed was 24. Monthly complaints, 307. Traffic citations issued, 13. 19 civil process papers served, 7 transports with more, and 4 on electronic monitoring. For dispatch activity, we had 564 calls for service, 120 calls for EMS, 94 calls for the police department, and 20 calls for the fire department.
Thank you for the fire department numbers. I think those are interesting to see. They're getting called out on a fairly regular basis.
Yeah.
So, and that's just the Richland Center Fire Department. That's not counting.
Just Richland Center.
Right. That's not counting the other.
Yeah, they were. I know they started out the year averaging about at least a call a day. So they have been busy, very busy. So additionally, we have 2 squad cars at Philbeck's ready and waiting for us. We're going to check on Tuesday, I believe, for them. And also, since our last meeting, actually, when I left the last meeting, I got news that we had received a grant from Wisconsin County Mutual Insurance. So we had applied for a grant through the insurance company early 24. And for the purposes of starting a mental health program for our staff. So I found out when I walked out of the meeting last month that we were awarded $7,500, and it's the purpose of it, or what we're going to use it for, is doing mental health checkups on our staff, jail dispatch, and road. And then the plan as of right now is to have a mandatory once a year with the option of a second meeting funded through the program. So up to 2 checkups funded through this grant. It's just a one-time grant, so we're going to have to figure out how we're going to continue it moving forward. But we do have ideas for that as well. But the first checkups, they start today. So we have a couple going today. So
they go off-site to do this, or somebody?
They're going off-site to do it, meeting with a therapist. And
All right.
So this is individuals doing that?
Yep.
Will there be opportunity for a group to do that in a case of a tragic incident?
So what we currently have that we utilize for that is we do have people who here on staff who are trained in peer support. That was kind of one of the first things we tackled. So we have, are we up to 4 now or 3 that are trained in peer support? 3. And then what we've done for a long time now is we do critical incident debriefings. So we bring in people from outside of our area, maybe some of them are local, but we bring them in, and then everybody who's involved in the incident has a chance to kind of talk through and work through what happened at the incident. So we've done that for a while, but we've been looking, and Aaron and I have been discussing for a long time, building on that and trying to offer more.
For those that need it.
Yeah, and it's the way I kind of look at it is it's not one size fits all. What works for one person may not work. You know, there's some people who've expressed interest in doing chaplain work for us, stuff like that, and that may work better for somebody than talking to a peer about it. So we're just trying to give as many options as we can. So still working on it, still building, but this was a big part of what we wanted to do. So.
Excellent. I would, yeah, I think it's a great program. All right, and what else?
We're starting interviews, first round of interviews for our jail openings tomorrow. So I think we have 4 candidates for that. So we're gonna get moving on that. And so we'll have another interview coming up here in the near future, and I think that pretty well covers it.
Okay. The new process has been working
Yeah.
well, the new hiring process. Okay.
Yep, it's just getting applicants. That's been our struggle.
All right, well, at least now it's not the struggle of the timing of the committees and all that. So we got that resolved then. Excellent. All right, anything else?
No, I don't think so.
All right, moving on to the coroner. Anything from the coroner? Did you get anything? I haven't seen anybody.
I don't have anything, no.
Okay.
Mike Jessen has been usually reporting that for them.
All right, and I guess we're going to just keep moving on. Circuit Court Judge, I think there's a trial today.
There's a jury trial today. It's a 6-person jury trial. We don't have those very often. It's on at OWI first. So you just have me today because Stacy and the judge and Jennifer and everyone is all busy with the trial. So, so that is going forward today.
Anything from the judge or anything you want to just go through the list and?
Not really. She was maybe wanting to set, if you could maybe step down to the register and probate after the meeting, just maybe set up a meeting with you and her again, just to touch base.
Sure.
Like not urgent, but maybe in the next few weeks instead of just on the chairs and the logistics of moving forward on a few things. So,
Okay.
I think we've had plenty discussion on them and nothing to really bring to the committee, but.
You started your discussion, I asked you. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, we'll do that.
And then, just on both the behalf of Stacy and myself, we don't have reports, in talking with Tammy Newberry. They're implementing Tyler. They're going through a lot of transition right now. So, the February reports, will be coming, but neither one of us, at least I was not able to get them, just because they're going through this. And so there's a little bit of a delay. But the good news is they're moving to, I think, a better and easier program for them. So, but I think, everything we're still getting a few straggling bills coming in for 2024, but most of them have been turned in by attorneys and all of that. So I don't think there'll be anything too surprising when we do get those February reports.
I continue to be amazed that the attorneys don't turn their bills in until as late as some of them do.
Yes.
But that's up to them. So, okay. Court register and probate. You want to just head down whatever you have, and then we'll.
Yeah, I mean,
Anything
I
else?
guess in register and probate, I feel like we've just been taking care of business. Just kind of there's nothing unusual or anything going on. I don't know, since the judge isn't here, I might just touch base on item number I, courthouse security report, and kind of combine that if you're okay with that.
Item number
J, and
J,
right, I
okay,
said
J.
I.
Yes,
J.
please, go ahead.
So is Jason on? And I don't know.
Yeah,
It says-
yes, I'm on.
Okay, so just a couple things, just, if you could just provide any update, if you have any, on the cameras in the lobbies and in the small courtroom, and if there were, kind of where we're at with that.
The cameras just got turned on literally yesterday. There's a lot of configuration and stuff that still has to be set up, and access that then what can be provided, but they are turned on and recording at this point.
Okay, that was kind of my question. It looked like they were there, but not working, and so, but I didn't look at them yesterday, so.
Yeah, we still have to work through naming some of them. I sat down, I was playing around with the system yesterday. I went up to dispatch for a while and, I mean, it very much so not configured yet, but still, me playing around with it for a few minutes was able to figure out how to pull up cameras, how to zoom in on images, and it's pretty intuitive. So it's looking like it'll be a nice system once it's going, but yeah, very much so. A lot of configuration that still is needed on it.
So is there training then that goes to the end users for this, or is it just pretty much intuitive enough that?
I imagine there'll be a level of training.
Yeah,
for it.
there'll be training set up after the rest of the completion of the project. We still have all the door access controls and all those things to be put into place yet. So, I mean, it's coming along and we've been pushing on them pretty hard. They're not supposed to be leaving the project now until it's complete. So it should be within the next couple of weeks. So
Fabulous, thank you. Thank you very much. Good news.
So on that, so the cameras are on, and just because I've had some questions coming from attorneys and different people, like when they're having conversations with their clients, sometimes they would meet in the lobby area, in the hallways, So one of the questions that I had two attorneys ask is, if the recording will always be on, like if they're out in the hallway, let's say they're in between the small courtroom and the large courtroom, they're having a conversation with their client, do they need to go into, say, the law library to have a conversation with their client?
Yes.
the recording is always going. It's not pulling up audio, but I mean, any public facility, I mean, they should just be aware that cameras are on, I guess.
So the cameras are on and the audio is on when they're running?
No
Audio
or
is
there
not on.
Audio is not on, okay. Can it be turned on? Like, let's say that there's a incident or a ruckus or an encounter in between. Can the audio be turned on so dispatch can hear?
I don't know if dispatch themselves will have that capability to make those kind of adjustments. I don't know that they won't. But I don't know if that's something that's going to be in the settings on the back end that they can't access, or if it's just a button click away. I don't know at this point, so.
Okay. Do you happen to know, Jason?
I don't believe that the audio will be something, because that's one of those things where if you start recording and you don't realize that you're pulling audio back, it's just always kind of safer to have the
statute
audio
on that.
not.
Yeah, you have to have one party knowledgeable that things are being recorded in the kind of.
Put a sign in the front of the door that says that you're recording audio and visual, that's what it's suffice for.
Is that sufficient? Okay.
So we need signage up,
If there's going to be
It has
audio,
to be audio.
but we don't need signage up if there's going to be just
video,
video. Okay.
I think there will be, there is. Isn't there currently signage up that things are recorded?
There,
I was thinking the high school, sorry, yeah.
I don't think there is.
I don't think
there is in, like in the courtroom, but I think we may need to add some additional signage, like on this side, if, like, in that lobby area.
Maybe just add something on the front door when they come in.
Right.
There's a note.
just along with the bags.
I thought there was something in the front door now, because I mean, we've had cameras coming into the lobby area of the courthouse for years. I thought there was some signage there.
Yeah, decades.
Okay, so we don't need it at each location as long as it's at.
I don't think so.
I
Good
just,
question.
since it's been a long time coming, we're finally here. Is there anything else we need to be doing?
Yeah, and I guess I don't know, I'm thinking about it, I don't know that this would be a Michael Wendell question, but I don't know
Put that
that,
down.
I don't know that we necessarily need to sign it because we record everybody who calls the sheriff's office and we don't tell everybody that they're being recorded, but everybody's being recorded. I'm the consenting party, I know they're being recorded.
Right, yeah, well, and
You know.
individual telecommunicators that are taking calls also have that knowledge.
Yeah.
Through that one-party consent.
Maybe it's different with cameras, but.
Not in the video part, but the audio would be.
So Jason, one last week, could you just maybe send out an email to like the judge and Stacy and myself, just kind of saying those are on and training's coming, or just a little formal update? I mean, I will pass it on as well, but I think it would be good just coming formally, to everybody.
Yeah, I can send something out, and like I say, it just got turned on, and there's a lot to set up yet, so.
Yeah,
We can
say,
pass
I mean, we're
that
just-
information when we have it, so.
Yeah, in progress, but I think it's exciting. We're finally
Yeah, I think
making progress.
we're there. And I think progress has been happening, but you don't see the results until they actually get turned on. All the
Yes.
background stuff that's got to get done is huge, so.
Yes. And just to kind of continue on the courthouse security, I mean, the bonding and all of that has been implemented, and, that has to kind of be revisited and stuff, keeping that front of mind, especially on days like this. Just as an update to the committee, the judge is attending a security conference in Appleton next week. And so she will be going to that and bringing back more ideas, but a lot of the things that we've been talking about at the courthouse security and those little things that we can do right away, we are doing. The cameras are being implemented. So I guess I just, since at this opportunity, need to advocate one more time.
Okay.
That I still think that metal detector or some type of thing at the entrance is still warranted, even if it's used intermittently, even if it's used on just jury trial days, when you have more people coming in, more people in the gallery, more people watching, sometimes media. There's just times I think that it would be good. And I know we don't have money for the staffing, and I've heard all of the pros and cons, and there's been lots of discussions at the courthouse security meetings and at different places, but I do still feel that something at the entrance would be helpful and a deterrent for people bringing in knives and other things, even if they don't know when it's going to be there, and we don't have it there all the time. So
You mean the entrance to the courthouse or the entrance to the courtroom?
the entrance to the courthouse, I think into the entire building, I think it would give the entire building, whether you're on third floor or first floor in the courtroom, it would give everybody
Security.
some security, and it would give people, just the recognition that this is, a building where those things are not permitted, and just create more of an awareness. I think we have signs for different things, and I think that is there a little bit more in the courtroom with the court security, but just the dynamics of the public and stuff, I think it would be good for the entire building. So.
I agree.
Okay.
Then just one last question for Jason. And sorry, I'm kind of skipping back and forth. Could you give us an update on where we are at in the Zoom in the small courtroom?
I really don't have anything on that, because like I say, I don't know where that project was left off as far as funding and timeline with other projects. I think once the camera project or control project is wrapped up, if funding is there, then we can bring that in. But I think that was, the last I knew was, it was a funding issue.
Actually, I think there was some equipment that we were looking at from the campus that
That will not work.
That will not work. Okay,
Well-
that was investigated in that, was there a speaker? So the speakers and all of that was looked at will not work?
To me, it's just not worth investing that type of time and trying to work with that equipment with the age of it, and then trying to cover warranty with a vendor and just implementing a system from whole, piecing something together. We looked at some of it last night. A lot of it's, it's been sitting for so long to try to integrate into newer technology. I think we're just going to run into too many issues.
Okay. So maybe, is there a timeline when you feel like you would have the time and energy to revisit that, like maybe in a few weeks, or what are you kind of thinking?
It could be a few weeks to a few months, but again, without knowing that there's a funding source, I just don't know how much time we can invest in it with some of the other projects that have some deadlines.
So we were looking at, the possibility of like a small cart, something not too expensive, just to have that Zoom capability. We knew it wasn't going to be perfect or ideal, but it would allow us.
The cart was frowned upon when we talked to the state with CCAP. They said that a lot of the different counties have lots of issues. It creates more problems with audio and keeping it, making it work. I mean, we can try to explore that a little bit more, but I truly think that if it's going to be something that we're going to invest money into, that it should just be done into the room and configured and be done, and not have to come back and keep revisiting it.
So it sounds like we need to identify the funding source. I thought there had been some funding set aside for that, but I will do some digging and see what that source and project is.
Okay.
I think that's going to be sounds like that's our beginning challenge piece for this.
Okay, but just to clarify, all of the kind of interim trying to make do plans you feel are just not worth it?
With the amount of man hours and stuff to try to keep putting things into that, to try to make something work, I just don't know that that's of value at the end, in a sense, but we can try to pull back some of the budget numbers that we had from before and just kind of see if those are still feasible, and try to get a plan together on what maybe that budgeting would need to look like.
Okay.
Jason, I'll catch up with you on what I found out with the funding, and I will chat and see what we can come up with.
Okay, perfect.
All right, thank you. Yes.
Can I go back to the sheriff's report?
Yes.
I just noticed on the sheriff's report, traffic citations issued in December of 24, we had 11, January of 25, 42, and February 13.
Yeah,
Is that,
it's just, I don't have a good explanation for why, other than it kind of ebbs and flows where, it depends. It can depend on weather, it can depend on,
Our main guy, well, we have a couple of guys that are more citation heavy than others. And if they're going on training, then your numbers are gonna be lower. A lot of people, they don't issue as many citations as a couple of the guys that are more road patrol citation issuers for our department.
okay,
So if they're gone, and then we had a couple weeks of really, really cold weather, people weren't probably doing as many traffic stops in the negative 20-degree temperatures.
So, yeah, it
curious, it
yeah.
stands out.
And I think as the weather improves, you'll see it start to climb again.
Sure.
And for multiple reasons. A, because there's more people out and about,
Yeah.
and B, because the weather's nicer and the guys are out patrolling more. So,
Sure.
yeah,
Okay.
And plus we have tourists and more people coming
Yep,
to the
yep.
community as well.
so.
Was there
yeah.
a grant program, a ticketing program?
Well, All gone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the only thing that's being funded currently is OWI, or possibly is going to be OWI
Oh,
grants. So all the speed grants, all the seatbelt grants,
Yeah.
all the money went poof.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well, those are good grades.
we were waiting on an equipment grant. We did get an explanation on it, but we were waiting on an equipment grant for that speed trailer.
Yeah.
The application just up and disappeared. So,
State budget cycle.
yeah, well, federal dollars disappearing.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's
Yeah,
a number of issues. All right.
so number of issues is right, but yeah.
Okay. All right. Did that answer your?
A little bit. I mean, 3 times as much, and it's just, it stands out, you know. Or-
Yeah, you know, if I could, I guess my thing is I couldn't narrow it down to any one thing. It's multiple factors, right?
That's fine, yeah.
Yeah, if, you know, like Aaron said, you get a couple weeks of cold weather, a week of very cold weather, snowstorms, stuff like that slows all that down. We go, especially when you have that cold weather and snowstorms, we go largely reactive to things, and any kind of that proactive enforcement doesn't happen a lot. You know, in a snowstorm, a lot of times we're running from slide off to slide off.
Right.
And so,
Right.
you know, maybe a ticket will get issued in one of those, but maybe you just get them on the road and off to the next one.
Right.
From your software perspective of your citations, could you pull out what types of citations were written in a month? So if Craig had a question, say, I'd like to compare what different months.
With what the numbers are, it would probably be easier for me. I don't know if I could pull out by citation type. But I know with, you know, we were looking at 40 or 13, I can scroll those pretty quick
Okay.
and say, this is what we were writing for.
All right, so then
Yep.
if you had further questions.
Yep.
Okay.
It's all data we can find.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
All right. We like good data. All right, anything else? Register and probate, anything else? Okay, district attorney's not here. Do you have anything? Okay. Emergency management, not here. PSAP, NG 911 grants. Well, you had something on that one, I think.
Was that its own item?
Or was it on there?
It
is, that's separate. Okay.
So one thing I guess I can talk on that is we have been meeting with Total Response, which would be our phone, on starting the implementation stuff for, well, the plan is to leave APCO EMD for our pre-arrival stuff for EMS. And we're going to go to PowerPhone, which is going to automate it on the computer. So we've had a couple meetings with Total Response on getting stuff set up, getting users set up, and so I think we're still a ways off from making the switch, but the project is starting. As far as the NG 911 or the mapping stuff, I don't really have an update on that.
So I will encourage the next grant round. It's in state discussion right now that is not affected by the federal funding. So just be ready for any of your things that you might need for either the mapping for 911 or the PSAP equipment or training, because that grant round will be coming out hopefully in June. So be ready for the items that you need for that. Okay. Jason, anything on the PSAP grant? I know you're catching up on a lot of this stuff, but any questions you have or anything? I know you guys are involved in that.
Yeah, not a whole lot at this point. We're just kind of working with the state on part of the grant to make sure that the mapping gets the geocom. I'm just kind of sorting out a few things there, and then hopefully we'll have that compliance done for the EZNet. Fiber was put in. It's not completely connected yet. I think AT&T just has to do that last connection, and we'll work with Baycom and hopefully be on EZNet very soon. So.
Excellent. All right.
Yes, going back, just on the thought of grants, so in addition to the sheriff's department, are there other areas of grants that will be affected in Richland County due to federal dollars not coming, federal dollars not coming to the state and then from the state to the counties?
Yes. Don't know exactly what they are. It depends where the funding comes from. So for example, the PSAP grant, Engine M1 grant comes from the state pool of money from your cell phones. So that's a local state thing. So that doesn't appear that's going to be affected, but there are a number of other grants and projects that fund from the feds into the states that across the board can be affected. Don't have the full impact yet. Other questions on the PSAP NG 911 project or grants? Hearing none. Radio tower project.
So we have, and Jason maybe can answer this too, Gotham stacked and lit. It sounds like they're wrapping up the work on the shed. I don't know that the generator is hooked up to gas yet, but I think everything's in place. Keysville, the tower is stacked, not lit yet. Is bunker completely stacked, Jason?
I think the bunker was stacked because I think they're working on the ice bridge, so I assume that part's done.
Yeah. So again, I think we're making good progress now. Things are moving forward. We have still some waiting on some regulatory stuff on the U power site. But as we're coming into warm weather, that stuff should speed up. So
We asked if Mike Day could be available at one of the meetings. Maybe we can do that next month. Maybe you could catch up with this. You want me to get a hold of them, or
I can email.
if you would mail him and see if he could be ready for the next meeting? We thought he'd be available at this one, but
Yeah.
Okay, that would be good. Just overview and everything, so everybody's caught up on that. Anything else on the radio tower project at this point? Good to see progress moving. All right, courthouse security report, we talked about that. Anything else with that? Okay. Approval of monthly invoices, item number 8.
Any questions about the invoices?
Questions from the committee? Not, are we looking for a motion to approve the invoices?
I'll second.
Chad, or Cosgrove and Fleming, all in favor? Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? To take care of the invoices.
Is there any update or anything on what meals? I know you were making a discussion last time.
I guess I could have included that in my report as well.
Yeah, I just thought about it when I.
So, I'm trying to think exactly when it happened. But, sometime, I think it was in the middle of February, we got word that Pine Valley was gonna back out of it, that they could not do the meals. So we did some quick scrambling, salvaged our contract with, Summit, and we're gonna continue to use Summit. So the Summit contract is up, I believe it's the end of this year. So we're going to reach back out to some community businesses or facilities and see if we can find somebody else to do it locally. But as of right now, we're still with Summit. So
How about the catering company that does the food for ADRC for the meals?
are they using, is it Bezo? I guess I'll have to look and see what the meal costs are with them. It's a possibility. I guess I don't know the specifics on how the meals come and all that, but it's something worth looking into.
I know they're extremely happy with them.
Yeah,
People are happy with quality of food and.
it's certainly something we'll look into. We're not gonna, I think all options are on the table if we can save some money, so.
They're already coming here bringing food, so.
Yeah,
Never thought that we did too.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you do have issues in the summer, obviously with them. You got issues if there's a snow day or just a day off where for parent teacher conferences or spring break or that kind of thing, but it's still a good option. It's something to look into.
Hey,
Yeah, it was frustrating, but they had some staffing changes and it didn't look like it was going to be sustainable, so.
And the hospital has already been looked at as well.
So we used to get meals from the hospital, and I think that's somebody who we're gonna reach out to when we go into the bid process and say, hey, you know, are you interested? But it's probably been, well, over 20 years since they provided meals for us, so they have in the past. Maybe they're interested in doing it again. We'll have to see. But like I said, we're willing to reach out to and try and talk anybody into doing it.
The hospital would be a good option too, because they are open
Yeah, yep,
all the time.
all the time.
All
So,
the time.
yeah.
other questions? Ben? All right, hearing none. Item number 9, discussion and possible action approval of the PSAP grant program round 2.
All right, so I believe the grant announcement was included in the packet.
It is.
So just looking for discussion on this, what the plan is that we would purchase 2 base stations, plus all the equipment to go with them and the installation, to upgrade the base stations that we currently have or that we will be getting from just P25 capable to 800 megahertz capable. So they would operate on the future Wiscom system. So we would, that way dispatch would be able to communicate on the state network if they needed to. The equipment we have will currently do that, but we're not future-proof. So the state is actively working to upgrade their system, and this would allow us to operate on the new system that's coming.
So a quick background on this, the state PSAP grant is money that comes from your cell phones, the 75 cents you see in your phone bill. It goes into a pod that then gets distributed out through a grant process to the PSAPs. $16 million was awarded last grant round. Only about $14 million was requested. So the extra $2 million, the state went through what's called round 2. And round 2 was the ability for all the 911 dispatch centers, the PSAPs, to obtain a radio on the new state system that's being built out so that they can communicate with all the other PSAPs directly. Don't have to go through the phone. If it's another backup system. And so then this funding has a 10% match.
Yes.
Correct? But then it puts in new radio equipment that will interact with all the other radios for interoperability across the state. So it's good use of the funds.
Yeah.
So,
So our match would be, I have the number somewhere, but it's roughly $3,300 would be our match.
for $33,000 worth of equipment. So do we need approval for this? Oh, that's right.
Yes and no.
This is the dollar amount question.
So the, we can do this with Eric's approval right now currently. I wanted to bring it forward to discuss with the committee. But we can move forward with this. If somebody has some major objections to it, please voice them, but we can move forward with this. I just wanted to make sure you guys were aware and we had an opportunity to discuss it if there was any concerns regarding it.
So I guess what I would like to do is I would like to see from this committee a positive affirmation that yes, we should move forward. And I would like to see that in an action to say, a motion to say yes, move forward with this from the committee. I get that from Cosgrove, looking for a second from Fleming, if that's okay. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. I think it's important that we get the committee to acknowledge that
Yes.
importance of moving forward with those items. Okay, anything else on that? Item number 10, correspondence. Any correspondence? Do you have anything? I don't have anything. I guess I will mention, I did get some comments recently about the alcohol compliance checks that were done. I had a couple of individuals talk to me about that. Some of them got ticketed and they were okay with it, and some of them got ticketed and they were not. To which my response was, then you should have just done the right thing and followed the law. So I also will mention that letters went out to the agencies prior to this happening, so they knew it was coming. So I think it's a good program. Thank you, law enforcement, for doing those compliance checks. I think that's important.
Are you talking about places that are selling alcohol?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Looks like Betsy's online too.
So-
I'm not sure if you want to say.
Who's on?
So it looks like Betsy Bracelet's online. I don't know if she,
Betsy, do you have a question? Is there a comment sec? Is it anything in the?
I saw she was online. I didn't know if she wanted to say something.
Okay. Nothing in the chat?
Nope.
Okay. Betsy, you got a comment? All right, well, hearing none, we will move on then. Any future agenda items specifically you would like to see? Anybody? We're gonna get out of here and, wow, timing. All right, looking then for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion, second. Cosgrove, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. We're out of here.
So.
We should be off.
As far as the compliance check, is it just going around places that sell?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
Betsy Reisler just responded that, she couldn't figure out how to, this